1,000. And for the willful obstruction, judge will ask for a bond no less than 1,000. Again, the state submits that we have a separate witness, and that observed what took place and that a firearm was discharged. And this defendant does have an open aggravated assault. He has a criminal history that is violent. And so for those reasons, we believe he's likely to reoffend, and he's definitely a danger to the victim. And so we'll be asking for those bond amounts.
All right. So do you know who the victim is on the other ag assault? And I'm sorry, Ms. Major. Obviously, with the I can't even see the affidavit because, well, I can tell you, right? I can't see it because Odyssey won't let me open it. If I were on Odyssey, since we're not supposed to be, I wouldn't be able to open it. So,
Unfortunately, I'm in the same position, Judge. I don't have any access to Odyssey, even though some of my colleagues do, but I understand they only have a limited access and they can't open PDFs.
yeah.
So,
All right. So,
Judge, I just realized I didn't make my number request, so I want
Go
that
ahead.
to be heard on the record. I'd be asking for a bond not to exceed $15,000 due to the circumstances of the case. Ms. Horton's statement, Ms. Horton does not fear Mr. Baker, and the fact that Ms. Horton, who is the alleged victim, says that this incident did not happen. So that is why I'm requesting what I am.
all right.
Right,
No drugs
at 6 o'clock.
No drugs unless everybody's they're busting out of there, aren't they?
did you hear him, Judge? I'm sorry.
I did, right? No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Right now, we're just going to do no further contact with Dixine Horton. You could go through a third party for exchanging the children or child or any kind of visitation. And I say this, sir, even though Ms. Horton was honest and said that, according to the state, they say they have a witness saying there was a firearm discharged. So I'll do 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and UJR jail. 10, 10, 10, UJR jail. So no further contact with Ms. Horton. If available, you have that ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. We have an incident location, Ms. Bridges, for an address.
Yes, we do. It's 4475 Best Road. And that was sorry, let me get the College Park.
All right. So, Ms. Menger, is he going to live in Fulton County? Looks like there was a Palmetto address on the booking sheet.
Yes, Judge. The address is an Atlanta address.
All right. Is that where you're going to live, sir? Atlanta, Fulton County? Okay. All right. So it'll be 10, 10, 10, and UJR jail. 10, 10, 10, UJR jail. Ms. Menger, if you file another bond motion, we'll obviously get on and we'll address it again. Sir, I keep chipping away at it, okay, every time you show up. Has he had his prelim yet?
So there was a consent bond reached at the preliminary hearing,
Oh, so he
and
waived it?
Judge Drake did not accept that. So yes, Your Honor, unfortunately.
He waived the prelim or he had the prelim?
He waived the prelim for the consent bond because we were hoping.
That she didn't accept?
That's correct. She accepted the waiver and rejected the consent bond, which we consented to the bond for the waiver.
Been a while since I've been in law school. But for not having a consent bond, you weren't waiving.
That is correct. Unfortunately, I was not the one who handled it, but that is what happened. So I'm not sure what that, we would love to have a preliminary hearing, but we were at that point just trying to get Mr. Baker out of custody was the first priority.
The only other prelim date I have is this for February is this week, the 28th. That's probably too soon without them having the officer here. And they're trying to figure out when else we're going to have prelims, because it appears that they're getting behind on prelims again. Why don't email Miss Gaston and Miss Lewis, because I mean we're going to have at least one more prelim date or something and see if we can't, because it won't. I would have done it day after tomorrow, but that's not going to be enough time to have the officer subpoena to do it. And I'll do a prelim for him, because it's my understanding you're waiving it based on the fact that y'all were going to have a consent bond, and if not, then you did not exercise your right to have the prelim. Because what? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you email a courtesy copy. You can copy Mr. Voya, Ambria Watts, and maybe Phoenix Gas, and we'll get back on for a prelim. And at your prelims, I'll address bond again. Okay. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Did anybody miss Rhonda? Did you waive in? You ask any of these people by any chance if you could waive?
Judge, I did not anticipate this issue, so I didn't ask if I could waive their presence.
Miss Miss Hemingway. I'm sure you probably didn't get a chance to waive, but so what I see on Odyssey is that under this booking number, there's 2 capital cases.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So were these upgraded?
I'm not sure. I represent him on the capital case that's been indicted. I do see this case opened in our system, but it's still assigned to the PD's office. It was never assigned to our office for Bryant Sims.
Yeah, so I was wondering if it was
If those were,
and then they died.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
This case is open and the capital case is something different.
Just not the same victims. Are you sure, Boston?
Yes, in Odyssey, the capital case is showing blue open and this number is still blue open.
I know, but this one was in 2022, so I don't know if these people ended up succumbing to their alleged wound. So I don't know if it's the same victims, because this was in 2022 and that capital case was in 23.
2, 3, 1, 6, 4, 9, 0.
Because on the booking,
Seems to be completely different, Judge. Like
These are different cases. The capital offense case is from 9/2/2023. This is from 9/16/22.
Oh, that's it. Since it was under that booking number as a capital case, that's why I thought maybe it was the same one.
It's
So
just probably he just got booked in at the same time,
it was a year apart.
and that's all. It's just they were probably late getting to the 22 CP one. That's all.
Because one was in 2022, one was in 2023, so that was a year apart.
We
So
got,
this shows that he made this $52,500 good bond, unless when he was arrested on the other case, the capital case.
he was in custody 152 days.
So, Ms. Hemingway, did they come off of this bond because he got arrested on the capital case?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Bostic, do you know?
I don't see where it is or where it's showing like they came off of the bond, because it's not booked back in on the new case. What's holding him in custody is the capital case.
Right, I see that, but I don't know if
This is not what's holding him in custody.
well,
Let
it
me
is if
open-
they came off of his bond, it's holding him also. But all right, you want to just reset it then, Miss Hemingway, because so we can figure out. I don't want to put you on the hook on a case where it's not yours, although it did say
Right.
Judge, this case is not holding him in custody. It's just the capital case.
if they came off his bond though, Bostic
Did not. I'm looking. They did not. It's nothing in there. They did not. That bond is still good. What's holding him in custody is just the capital case.
Well, I get it, but if he was in for 144 days on this or 151,
152 days.
but he got arrested the next year on capital case, so they should have came off this bond.
But they did not. There's nothing in his new booking
I
where
understand.
they would have came off of this bond.
I
So
get
the
it.
company has not filed anything.
So in case they filed something and it's not there, I don't know, but Miss
Okay.
Hemingway, you can figure out maybe if you're supposed to even be on this or if it's getting assigned to somebody else. Do you want to do that?
I will, Your Honor.
We can reset it out for the next private date, which I think will be in what, 2-3 weeks.
Okay, I'll reset it, Judge.
All right, yeah, we'll put it on the next private date for you. So, and you can figure out if you're on it or it's assigned to somebody else, or maybe they'll just you're on both together. That would make sense, but anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss
Okay.
Hemingway. I appreciate you showing up.
All right, no problem. Thank you,
So
Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Rondon, it looks like Mr. Heim, I don't know if he's got $170,000 bond, and Mr. Trontavious Tate, one's 35,000, one's 5,000, and one is what's the other one? 21,000.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So you probably didn't get there. What do you want to? LT, have you heard from South Annex?
I have not, ma'am. I did email him again. We're just having a lot of challenges with the system.
Yeah, between that and Odyssey. What you want to do, Mr. Rhonda? Do you want to just reset these to the next?
Judge, is it possible that both of them can be added tomorrow? And then I will go to South Annex with my phone or computer and I will set up with the Zoom.
Now, I don't think they're gonna let you go to South Annex with your phone and computer and set up, but I can get them on next week's calendar. Maybe not because the jail has certain numbers and stuff, but I can get them added as quickly as possible.
Let's see. Unless they'll waive tomorrow, unless you want to go talk to them and they'll waive.
I think I would rather that. I'll go first thing in the morning and see if they're willing to waive their presence, and then we can take care of this tomorrow.
Yeah, because it looks like
Judge, I won't be able to trying to add them tomorrow is gonna be a little bit quicker. I can add them later on in the week for the jail so that
I'm talking about if they waive their presence.
Oh, okay, because I know with the jail, they have to send notice to South. Okay.
Yeah, so if they waive, because tomorrow there's a few people that have like Stroger has 1, 2, 3, 4 cases, and Dexter has 2, Roberts has 2. So, if they waive, you can do that. But if not, then there's Thursday, or we can get them on Thursday if that's enough time for Miss Robinson. That's got 23. I think a couple have already came off Tuesday, but if you waive, we could probably do it tomorrow. That way they wouldn't have to pull them.
I would prefer that. I'll go to South Annex first thing in the morning and report by email to Miss Robinson on if they've waived or if we need to schedule them for Thursday.
Okay, sounds good. It looks like that's it, and we could just
Thank you.
Miss
And
Hemingway.
that's gonna be on all three of her clients for him, Tate, and
Well, no,
2
Tate.
of her clients. I'm sorry, him and Tate.
Yeah, Heimer, him, and Tate. Yeah, those 2.
Yes.
Because Miss Hemingway will just need to find out if she's the one assigned to the Bryant Sims case, or I can't see a bonding company if they haven't filed anything or not on there not coming off if he's charged with capital case, but I could be wrong. Looks like that's it. It was a short
Okay.
night.
Position 4 and position 14.
All right, so let's see. 4. It looks like on here it says bound over. So he was obviously, way I said, is indicted on another case, and they bound this one over to the other one.
Okay.
Because they did a CP bind over. And which one? 14.
Yes.
So there was just a consent bond on the 23rd. So we're sending it back out a little bit. Is this what's holding? No, this was in what other case does he have? Because this is 1,000.
No, he has a capital case that's holding him.
All right, so we'll send it
Judge.
back.
Also position 10.
DeAndre Jackson. There was just a consent bond on 221.
He has no bond.
It showed a consent bond on the 21st.
We had our preliminary hearing and Judge Drake denied bond on that day.
So what was the consent bond that's showing up?
I
Consented to no
don't
bond.
know.
You consented to no bond? Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, he was supposed to have the preliminary hearing. It got reset because no officer showed. And then we had a bond hearing and she denied the bond modification. Well, denied bond because he had no bond.
All right, it's pulling up right now. You know, I promised Miss Gandy an early evening, but you get. All right, come on. It's going just a tad slow. There it is, Jackson.
And Judge, to be clear, for Mr. Baker, you're asking me to file a motion for a preliminary hearing. Is that correct?
Yeah, and email it to them too, and you can put in the email to Miss Lewis and them that did I ask you to file one, because it seems, I mean, when you waive, you don't. I mean, you were waiving because there was a consent bond.
Correct.
You should have been able to withdraw your waiver. I mean, if you waived based on the fact that you had a consent bond, then it should have.
Okay.
Let's see.
And that's my final matter. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good night.
Anyways, oh, because it hadn't been 90 days yet. All right. How about we set this back out a few weeks and then you can come back for him, for Jackson.
Okay, Judge.
Yeah, so yeah, set it up for like 3 weeks. Mr. Boyan will come and we'll hear that one. Or whatever the next date is for the conflict. Yeah, that Miss Treboria, Miss Jackson.
Yes, Judge, I heard
I
you.
don't know why I said Miss Jackson.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no, that was me. All right, and it looks like that's it. Thank.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Hey, how are you?
There was quite a lot. I think they spent half the time cutting, half the time sweeping.
Right, I can only imagine. All right, gentlemen, if you guys will stay in your booths, we'll get through this as quickly as possible. So we've got one in Cobb, one in South Annex. Miss Murray's here. Miss Clark, your client's definitely on tonight.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Let's see. We got Miss Murray, we got pretrial. We got Miss Bosky. Are you Jason Lee? Wave your hand if you're Jason Lee. Okay. Let's see. We don't have Mr. White back yet, though, do we? He was on here.
Yeah, Judge, he was just on. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'm seeing that my client, my only client on today's calendar, his case was indicted. It looks like the indictment came in on February 2nd, if I may be excused.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, have a good evening.
Just to confirm, who was your client, Mr. Cozzoli, just so we have to make sure.
That's Miss Jones,
Oh, yeah, I
position
like that
10.
house. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
See, I don't know where Mr. White went. Maybe he realizes he was booted off.
I'm not sure, because he was definitely on.
One north, booth 2, sit up straight for me, sir. There you go. Stay seated up, sit up straight, please. Stay sitting up straight. All right, everybody, we can get started as soon as Mr. White gets back on here. apologize, everybody got the flu. Ugh. Yes, we could swap off, Miss Clark. If you want to play Mr. White, if you want to play the DA tonight, we could probably go ahead and get started, right?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know where he's at. I don't think I have his phone number. Oh, there he is. There's Mr. White.
Good evening, Judge.
Mr. White, you ready? We can knock this out quick.
Yes, Judge. I apologize. I was having issues with my audio.
No, that's okay. So there's only gonna be a few where I don't have a bond order to read from, so I may have to count on you to tell me what the bond amounts are, if there's a bond, and what, maybe a victim's name and a location or something. And one of them happens to be the first one, Mr. Jason Lee.
All right, well, let's see if I can use SharePoint as a substitute for Odyssey.
Yeah,
May be able to come up with something, I don't know.
Miss
I
Maria,
can't,
do you have it?
I don't have the detailed bond order. I know it's a total bond of 28,000 though. And I could tell you the charges.
Yeah, I got the charges and stuff, but let's see. Because I could probably figure it out. Let's go ahead and try this. Let's see. We don't have Bostic, though. We have Miss Roberts. All right, we got Jason Lee, number 23 CP 218405, 280 days without indictment. I've got possession, manufacture, distribution, sell. I think that may be marijuana. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Theft by taking misdemeanor, escape, custody, or confinement, and willful obstruction.
19 cycles, 2014 eviction.
You got some feedback. You got feedback. You got feedback, Miss Roberts.
Hear me better?
A lot of feedback. Your phone or something close to you?
Better?
No, ma'am.
I'm gonna log out and come back.
Okay. Hey, Miss Kennebrew.
Hi, how are you, Judge Manning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. My only position has been indicted. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Which one was that?
Thank you, Torin. I don't have the calendar in front of me.
Martin. Okay. Got it. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. And if by chance if I call off charges that don't exist anymore, please feel free to let me know. Some may have been dismissed and I just can't check and see if they have.
Your Honor, I do have an announcement for the last positions on the calendar. Andre Young, 19 positions, 19, 20. Those I'm covering for Philip Clark.
Okay.
And if the court is not aware, one of my other cases on the calendar, Peter Cavallera was indicted.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, Ms. Roberts, want to try it again?
Yes, can you hear me better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, 19 cycles, a 2014 escape conviction, 2013 conviction for possession of meth and crossing state or county guidelines with drugs, a 2007 burglary and entering auto, 2002 entering auto, 2005 and 2002 sale of marijuana, and nothing further.
Go ahead, Ms. Murray.
Your Honor, Mr. Lee has been in custody for 280 days without indictment. What we would really like is for the state to indict this case, and we have filed a speedy trial demand to that effect. But nonetheless, in regards to bond, Mr. Lee is not a flight risk. He's a Georgia native. He has a good address here. He has 6 children, one of whom was born while he was in jail, and he hasn't had the chance to meet. In addition, he's not a danger to the community or at risk of committing a felony while out on bond. As pretrial noted, his last felony conviction was in 2014. Additionally, he's never been accused of anything violent, and there are no witnesses or victims in this case that Mr. Lee could be at risk of intimidating. The current bond is a total of $28,000. We would ask that for the marijuana charge that be reduced to $2,500. For the firearm charges, that those be reduced to $5,000 each. For the escape charge, we would ask for a bond of no more than $2,500, and for the willful obstruction, we'd ask for nothing more than $1,000.
All right, and you get the theft by taking?
Oh, Your Honor, I don't think I have that charge noted. In regard to the theft by taking, we would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000.
All right. 2 North, booth 1, have a seat. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Judge, I have no idea why this gentleman has been in the Fulton County Jail for 273 days on these charges with no indictment. Wait a minute. It's 23 CP 218405.
And it's been 280.
And I frankly can't see the odyssey, so I have no response given his
Ms. Murray, is he gonna live in Fulton County?
I have no objection to what the defense counsel has proposed, Judge.
Is he gonna live in Fulton County, Ms. Murray?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. On the marijuana, less than marijuana, 2,500. Firearm during the commission, 5,000. By a convicted felon, 5,000. Misdemeanor theft by taking, 1,000. Escape confinement, 2,500. And obstruction, 1,000. That's 2,500, 5,000, 5,000, 1,000, 2,500, and 1,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Judge Manning, before you go to the next case, I'm sorry that I'm in a similar position to Ms. Kennebrew. My only client on this calendar, Derek Brown, position 7, has been indicted. May I be excused?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, I believe I had one other case on this calendar, Jamel Brookings. That case has been indicted as well. So if I may be excused.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Andrea Young. All right, here we go. Let's see. Mr. Showalter, it's 23 CP 218779, 289 days without indictment, $5,000 good bond as of August 31st on theft by taking, or theft by shoplifting felony.
33 cycles, 3 FTAs, 19, 18, and 14. 2014 family violence battery conviction, 2013 burglary conviction, 2011 theft by receiving stolen property, and 2009 felony theft by shoplifting conviction. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Mr. Showalter.
Yes, I would like to emphasize that he has been in there for almost 300 days now without indictment. He has, if he is released, he will have an address here in Atlanta, Auburn Avenue. He has security work. He was in contact with his boss. His boss is willing to have him go back to work at GME Security. And his whole family is in the area. His mother is recently back in his life, as of, I think he said was like just a few months ago. And so he's got all his support back. They're pushing him to work again. They are going to giving him a stable home, and he's got a job lined up. And so I'm asking the court to lower, if not grant signature bonds. He's got signature bonds and on some other cases. If not signature bonds on this current one, I would like it knocked down from 5,000 to 1,000. And
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the second one, 23 CP 221564. Those are 2 UJRs on those 2 theft by shopliftings, unless somebody came off of those.
I was seeing them as, so 221564, the 2 shoplifting charges, I've understood them as $1,000 bonds.
But I see, what I saw last is, here we all were crippled because of
Yeah,
Odyssey being down, but it looks like, I mean, I had it, maybe they were UJR, so they're 1,000. I'll try to see what I can see too. What do
yeah,
you
I'm
see?
gonna quickly bring it up again, see if. I know on his booking screen, it shows an Odyssey as $1,000 bond.
Uh-huh.
Last bond order. See if he'll cooperate with me. If they're at 1,000, I would like them at $500 or a signature bond.
All right, go ahead, Mr. White.
Judge, Mr. Young has, in addition to the 2 that are on the calendar, has 23 CP 218793 theft by shoplifting, 23 CP 218794 theft by shoplifting, and what's really holding him in jail aren't these. What's really holding him in is 23 SC 186889. Criminal attempt to commit robbery, and 23 SC 191950, another theft by shoplifting. Judge, he has 6 open cases, 2 of which have been indicted. He's not a good risk for bond at period. Certainly, given the fact that he's got 2 indicted, 4 unindicted, including the attempted robbery case and 5 theft by shopliftings, the state is opposed to any reduction in the bond for the 2 cases that are on the calendar. Nothing further.
All right. On the one ending in 8779, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 590 Cascade Avenue. That's DD's Discount. Why did I put no driving during the pendency of this case? No driving during the pendency of this case. You're gonna have an ankle monitor if available, paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Okay, I saw other shoplifting. Sorry, so they were $1,000 a piece. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you spot the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. No further contact with Derek Griffin. I'll make that a $3,000 good bond. And on the other two, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Don't know the incident location. We'll make those $500 a piece. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, let's see. See, DeAndre Ferris. DeAndre Ferris. Wave your hand if you're
That's
DeAndre
my-
Ferris.
That's my client, Your Honor.
Do you see him? Because I can't see
I
anybody.
don't
DeAndre
see
Ferris,
him.
yeah.
He's in a wheelchair and he's in 3 South, it said on the jail screen.
But they may be putting him in a courtroom. He may be the gentleman, because
Is he down there with you, Bogle? Is that
if he's in a
Ferris?
wheelchair.
I don't have a DeAndre Ferris. He went on my sheet.
I mean,
All right. We'll keep an eye out for him. Let's go with Baron Williams. Baron Williams. Okay. Wave your hand if you're Baron Williams. Don't have Baron Williams yet. Wave your hand if you're Lawrence Simmons. No Lawrence Simmons yet. Wave
Your,
hand.
Your Honor,
Ms. Staples, keep your camera off.
I
Yes.
didn't have those people.
Hold on a sec. Yes, sir. Mr. Rogowski.
yes, Your Honor. To my knowledge, I do believe that Mr. Simons has since bonded out, and I was looking to see if we could confirm that as well.
Is Mr. Lawrence Simons or Simmons bonded out?
Judge, I can check with jail staff. There's no way, since Odyssey is not updating, I don't know.
Let me check. Let's see. What about Cameron Johns? Wave your hand if you're Mr. Johns. All right, stand by. What about Dexter Allen? Nobody named Dexter Allen?
Your Honor, I'm
about-
handling that case for Miss Samantha Beck, and she requested a 1-week continuance or reset on this case if possible.
All right, reset 1 week, Miss Robinson.
I heard you, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Curtis Smith. So did you gentlemen just kind of wander in here, or did somebody tell y'all had court? Curtis Smith. Nope. What about Calvin Cooley? Bradford Darius.
We didn't have any of those people.
Warren Bird. All right, I just went through my entire calendar.
Your Honor, I do know that Calvin Coley is located at Union City. I saw him last night there.
Wait a minute. Now somebody wants to wave a hand 20 minutes later. Let's try this one more time, people. When I call your name, you have to flail your hand about so that I can see you. The minute I call your name. Baron Williams. No. Lawrence Simons or Simmons. No. Cameron Johns. No. Curtis Smith. No. Calvin Cooley. No. Bradford Darius. No. Warren Bird. No.
Your Honor, what about DeAndre Ferris?
I called that before. He's not in there.
Judge, do you want me to unmute the booth to see what the, each booth to see what the gentleman names are in the booth?
Well,
Okay.
Excuse
Hold on a second.
me. The list of names we had today were Davon Mitchell, Thomas Alexander, Emmett Grubbs, Dennis Gresham, Kennedy Walker, Anthony Dobson, Roderick Green, and Dontavius Miles.
I'm not sure. Lieutenant Coughlin communicates the list to the jail. So I'm not sure what list he communicated to jail staff.
Your Honor, if I may, the gentleman.
Stand by. There's LT's talking. Go ahead, LT.
Deputy Vogel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What, did you see the list that I sent out?
This is the list that Blanton sent to me earlier today.
Okay, there was a list that was sent out to Sergeant Johnson and Glenn and Matthews. I'm not familiar with that list that he sent you.
Okay, send me the list that you need and I'll try and get those people.
Okay.
Everybody in the booth, y'all can go back to y'all zone.
Y'all can leave the booth.
Your Honor, if I may, the gentleman in 1 North Booth 2 is Jalen Miller, my client. He's on the calendar for tonight.
Let's see, Jalen Miller. We got one. All right, let's see. Hey, I'll need some info on this one. All right, let's see, Jalen Miller. Previously it was number 21. Who knows where it is now? 23 CP 223-165, 105 days without indictment, burglary in the first degree.
23 cycles, by taking conviction in 2019, 1 FTA in 2018. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Miller's 26 years old. He's been living in Atlanta the past 13 years. He does have a good address in Atlanta. He can live with his father. His mother is also in the area, as well as the rest of his family. Prior to his arrest, he was employed at Trust Tree, a landscaping business. His bond currently is set at $25,000, and we would ask for the bond to be reduced not to exceed $10,000 in total.
All right, everybody that's in these booths, if your name isn't Jalen Miller, y'all can leave. Goodbye, gentlemen, except for Mr. Miller. Goodbye, gentlemen, except for Mr. Miller. Good to see each and every one of you. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Judge, certainly the bond that was set at 25,000 is reasonable given the charge and this defendant's criminal history. I've heard nothing that would indicate that there's been any kind of change in circumstances that would justify a reduction in the bond. The state is opposed to any reduction in Mr. Miller's bond at this time.
You wouldn't happen to have the location and the incident location and the alleged victim's name, would you? Either one of you?
I'm looking for it right now in our SharePoint, Judge.
I do have it, Your Honor.
Okay.
The victim's name is Kevin Carroll. That's Kevin. Last name Carroll. And the incident location is 1556 Rogers Avenue, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County.
Okay, thank you. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons, no further contact with Kevin Carroll. If available, you have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Stay away from 1556 Rogers Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. $20,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Mr. Cochran, oh, I'm sorry, he's got it, Vogel's got the list, thank you.
Vogel will get his steps in tonight. We spoke too soon, Miss Robinson.
I always do.
Ms. Clark, you have any idea how much Mr. Ferris's bond is right now?
Yes, Your Honor, he just got back in November from revocation. And he had 10,000 on count 2 and 10,000 straight bond on count 3 and a pretrial level on 5. Count 1 and 4 were dismissed, so he has 20,000.
And the marijuana, he's got a pretrial?
Yes, the marijuana charge.